Ireland is still floating along on a tide of emotion after one of the most thrilling cup victories in its footballing history. The Wearsiders booked a place at Wembley after 19 years in the FA Cup wilderness by beating First Division Norwich at Hillsborough in a nerve-wracking semi-final.
The man who has masterminded their cup run is in a board meeting at the club right now. But Malcolm Crosby's future is still unclear. He hasn't been given the full-time manager's job yet, but the pressure to announce his appointment before the final in a month's time is enormous.
We have three reports coming up. The first from Duncan Wood, who joined the Roker party at their hotel outside Sheffield yesterday morning.
The peace and tranquility of the team's luxury hotel on the outskirts of Sheffield is in stark contrast to the spectacular scenes of celebration at the end of the match. But this is where the day began for Malcolm Crosby and his squad. While he went walkabout in the grounds, Gordon Armstrong, whose goal earned Sunderland a place in the semi-final, tried to hit the right note in the lounge. Keeper Tony Norman had recovered from injury for the big game and was looking forward to making his own headlines. As the rest of the squad headed for a breath of fresh air, a huge army of fans was turning the atmosphere red and white along the road at Hillsborough. By the time the team bus had arrived, they'd got the place surrounded. The biggest cheer was reserved for the man who was about to achieve hero status, John Byrne. The fans that packed the Kop had been waiting for this moment for 19 years. The Republic of Ireland international got the hard part of it out of the way early in the move. He holds it up brilliantly, then releases David Rush. He flicks it forward to Brian Atkinson, and his cross is inch perfect for the new wonder man of Wearside. They clung on desperately to that lead for the next hour and even had chances to go further in front. An almighty scramble sets it up for substitute Gary Bennett, but he's wide of the mark. Then the final scare. Tony Norman just manages to hang on to this effort as the seconds tick away. Crosby sits back in the dugout and prays for that final whistle. Referee Neil Midgley obliges, and Sunderland are at Wembley. The management team that's been in charge for just 98 days can't believe it. The players are mobbed by the delighted fans. They've waited a long time to celebrate this kind of success, just like the Roker Stars, who are heading for the Twin Towers.
Well, I think it's not just myself, you know, I think it's a dream come true for all of the lads. And not only me, but the supporters as well. I think they must have been dreaming about this for a while.
They really did you proud today, didn't they?
Well, they've done me proud in every round. We've had tough draws all the way through, and they've been magnificent in every game. And, you know, they've worked their socks off today, and they've got their rewards. They deserve it.
Wembley now, like, I can't believe it, you know. I've waited for this all my career. I'm 31 now. It's fantastic. It's great.
What about that goal?
Well, it was a great ball from Aki. Like, all he had to do, I think you'd have scored it, Duncan. It was, you know what I mean? It was so easy to stick it away. The ball was fantastic.
As the army of fans began the long drive home, the club's famous followers were still getting used to that cup final feeling.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant. I was, the second half, a little bit concerned. The lads, they look more tired than I have done at the end of some of my races in the last 10-15 minutes, but they did well.
I was just talking to Don Goodman. I said, you must be more sick than I am, you know, because, you know, he's not involved, obviously, but I don't think we ever won an FA Cup game in all the time I was at Sunderland, so they've done brilliant this year. Excellent.
One man has seen it all before. His dramatic double save won Sunderland the cup in '73 and singled him out for adulation from manager Bob Stokoe. They were both at the game, and Monty gave us his reaction.
A bit nerve-wracking. I don't particularly like watching matches. Not this, it's not like this anyway. But well, fantastic goal. Young Rush did superb, and Burns took it in brilliantly. You know, back forward tremendous. Outstanding. Rogan in particular, I thought.
Oh yes, I've been keeping May the 9th clear in the diary for just for a little while now, and you know, like everybody connected with the club, I'm sure we're going to go down there and have a great weekend, whatever happens, and let's hope Portsmouth win.
Well, Portsmouth replay against Liverpool has been overshadowed by the news that Anfield boss Graham Souness is to undergo heart surgery tomorrow, but the game will go ahead next Monday. Now, there have been many messages of congratulations arriving at Roker Park today. One from former Sunderland boss Dennis Smith, who wants 2 tickets next to Her Majesty the Queen at Wembley. But will Malcolm Crosby be the new Sunderland manager by then?
Sunderland's chairman, Bob Murray, wasn't giving much away when he arrived for tonight's board meeting less than an hour ago. His vice-chairman, Graham Wood, was all smiles after yesterday's win, but top of the agenda tonight was the allocation of cup final tickets, not the manager's job.
The FA won't know who's in charge of the tickets until next Monday's replay. The opposition's known. Obviously, it's going to affect the numbers we're going to get.
There were problems last time. You've talked to the police. Do you envisage problems again?
It's very difficult, insatiable demand. I mean, obviously the club was at fault to a degree, but I mean, the demand's fantastic. I mean, there's no perfect solution to this.
A lot of people will think that in some ways you should be discussing Malcolm Crosby tonight, but he's not on the agenda.
No, Malcolm's having an enjoyable night. I think there's a rumour he's going to buy us a curry later on. It'll be the first one he's bought us.
But the job won't come up tonight?
No, Malcolm's got 10 league games to play, and we're going to do some business before the end of the season, and we just need, I think we need 3 victories.
As the meeting started behind closed doors, the caretaker manager of the last 3 months arrived. He just wants to get on with winning league games. His future is the last thing on his mind. Now, you're about to go into a board meeting, but your future's not going to be decided, I believe, today?
No, I think it's basically to do with ticket allocation for the Wembley game, I would think. So I don't think we'll be going into the management job at all.
Everybody else seems to be, though, don't they?
Yeah, just myself, really. That's not trying to get involved in it. I think we've had enough of the management business, really. I just want to get on and win a couple of league games now.
Because that is the most important thing, isn't it?
Without doubt, yeah. We've got a month now before Wembley, so we've got to try and get some league wins.
Is that going to be the hardest thing, to keep the players' minds off Wembley and back onto league form?
Well, if they don't keep their mind on it, they might not be in the team. So it's up to them. They've got to keep their mind on it, or somebody else will take their place.
Well, the team's triumph has been, to use a footballing cliché, the icing on the cake for the citizens of Britain's newest city. They're bristling with pride today as the news sinks in that Sunderland are on their way to Wembley again. Rod McRae's been sampling the cup fever sweeping Wearside.
There was only one subject of conversation in Sunderland today. A wet Monday isn't normally so busy in the city centre. Today, it was buzzing.
Brilliant, fantastic, marvellous, great for the town, everything.
Are you smiling through the faces? Everybody happy? Yeah. Who's going to win the FA Cup this year?
Yeah, Rick.
Who?
Daddy.
Are you going to go down to Wembley?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
have you booked up?
No, not yet. Soon will do, though, as soon as possible. Great for the city, you know, great for the people.
Travel agents were besieged by callers inquiring about weekend visits to London in May and FA Cup specials.
I've had at least about 5 people, I would say, in just this morning before 10 o'clock. Asking for brochures, London weekends, are you putting a coach on with tickets included, and lots of inquiries, yeah. Everyone's talking about it.
So, does Sunderland getting to Wembley change any of your plans?
Yes, well, I was going to get engaged on May the 9th. We booked it in January. Now we're having to change it to the week before. All my friends, family, they're all fanatics.
Everyone, it seems, is pleased. The Chamber of Commerce is predicting something of a mini boom in Britain's newest city as the Wembley factor loosens people's grip on their wallets.
It'll be another boost, another thing on top of city status and everything else that's been happening on Wearside recently.
Bookies were cutting their odds today. Victory on May the 9th for Sunderland could hit them hard.
Liverpool are still favourites. They are priced at 4 to 5, but Sunderland have came good. They've beat 3 First Division teams in the last 3 games, and they have to be taken seriously. They're down to 6 to 4, have the spirit of 1973, and who knows, could be their year again.
What about John Byrne? He's scored in every round so far. What are the odds on him scoring at Wembley?
John Byrne is looking to equal the record at Wembley by scoring in every round. He's priced at the moment 5 to 2 to score a goal in the final. So that's a fairly good bet, I would think, at 5 to 2.
It's normally a bet on who scores the first goal at Wembley. So what odds for John Byrne?
Well, at the moment, it's difficult to make a book on the final because we don't know who they're playing. But John Byrne is going to be priced round about 7 or 8 to 1 to score the first goal at Wembley.
But not even the most dedicated Roker fan can possibly wait for the result as nervously as one man. Last July, he walked into a bookies and backed Sunderland for the Cup, £5 at 150 to 1. For him, it'll be more than a game of 90 minutes.
Certainly will. And staying with football, it really is down to earth with a bump after the celebrations with Sunderland, because for both Middlesbrough and Newcastle in particular...
Good evening. The celebrations have been going on all day in the city of Sunderland.
following their team's thrilling 1-0 win over First Division Norwich City in the semi-final of the FA Cup. More than 40,000 spectators at Hillsborough, together with a TV audience of millions, saw Sunderland upset the form books and reach the final for the first time since they won the Cup in 1973.
And Davenport far side, positive run by Rush. This is Atkinson, and this is Byrne. He's done it again, Byrne. Scored in every round so far, and that really was a very, very well-made goal.
The John Byrne goal that sent Sunderland to Wembley and set Wearside alight with excitement. More than 20,000 Sunderland fans had travelled to Hillsborough and celebrated in style once their dreams had been realised. When the two sides met at Wembley in the 1985 League Cup, it was dubbed the friendly final. It was clear from the very start yesterday that there was still no animosity between the two clubs. Fans mingled freely hours before the kick-off, but it was the Sunderland contingent which made most noise, particularly when their team arrived at the ground. And once the game got underway, it was clear that the Roker Roar had moved lock, stock and barrel down the A1.
Good distance from Mark Walton's goal kick, and a bit of space here for another Mark. Bowen. Norman changes his mind and came up with the right decision in the end. No support, now it's arriving. Bracewell and Rush and Atkinson and Davenport far side. Positive run by Rush. This is Atkinson, and this is Byrne. He's done it again, Byrne. Bennett into the 6-yard area. And Rush with the shot. As Armstrong slightly took the defender out of the way, I think. But it was a good strike. We played 75 minutes, and here's Davenport. And they're queuing up, and it's a miss. And somehow it's off the line. Bennett is wide. Davenport on the back post. Byrne on the near edge of the 6-yard area. Bennett to come in. It's going for him. Two took him. Goss cleared. Rush, powerful header back, and Davenport, and he put it dead straight.
The last few minutes of the game were probably the longest in Malcolm Crosby's life. And such were the scenes at the end. The players had to be helped from the pitch. In the dressing room, the champagne was flowing as the realisation of a Wembley final began to sink in.
It's got to go down as a great moment in his career. Paul Bracewell's told us all about semi-finals, like, you know, he's played in 3 of them, you know, he keeps time a bit boring really, but, you know, this is fantastic. For them fans out there, you know, they were absolutely unbelievable today, superb.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and I think we've had that during today, and hopefully our name might be on the cup.
Well, it was, you know, I mean, well, that tides me nose, no it doesn't. The lads have, you know, they've gone there, it has been emotional. But the whole occasion's been a great day, and we've got the result, and that's all that matters at this time.
He's turning out to be quite a manager, isn't he?
He's not doing bad, is he? I just keep on doing it, that's it.
Did you get the job?
I couldn't. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I mean, obviously we're absolutely delighted for them. He's certainly going in the right way.
Well, the celebrations which started when the final whistle went were still going on today. And one man with more than most to celebrate, of course, is the club's caretaker manager, Malcolm Crosby. He's hoping his latest success will win him the job permanently. The players have already said that's what they want, and it seems the fans do too. Tony Belmont reports.
Back in the manager's chair and savouring the moment. Malcolm Crosby has gone from reserve team coach to folk hero in just 3 months. Among the first to congratulate him was the club's previous manager, Dennis Smith. Crosby became caretaker manager after Smith was sacked. And despite his huge popularity with Sunderland's fans, he's still just caretaker. The latest big name in football to call for him to get the manager's job permanently is Bob Stokoe. He guided Sunderland to their last FA Cup win 19 years ago.
I appreciate what Bob Stokoe said, but you know, I think we've got to forget about Malcolm Crosby in the job and just hopefully get some results.
What have you got to do you think, to get this job?
Well, I've said all along, you know, I've got to get more league results, and that's going to strengthen my case. So from tomorrow, we start looking for league results, and hopefully that will help me.
And while the citizens of Sunderland were celebrating today, some said this latest success should be enough for Crosby to get the job he so badly wants.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. If he doesn't get the job, there's something wrong over there.
I think he'll get the job in the finish. But wait and see.
What about Malcolm Crosby? Does he deserve the job now?
He deserves it now, yeah. I didn't think so at the beginning of the day when he got it. Now he's done it. Lads are playing for him. Definitely, aye. Yeah.
Excellent, good house, yeah. Brilliant.
What was the atmosphere like?
Excellent, electrifying. Just give him the job. Give him it.
You think Malcolm Crosby should get the job now?
Oh, aye. Unless the fans want him, so you should give him it, like.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes.
If he's going to lose his job, they shouldn't have gotten as far as Wembley.
If they do win the cup, but I know they're going to win the cup, give him it then for sure.
Well, he should ask for it now. He's been a bit reluctant to ask for it. I think he should ask for it now, like.
Think he'll get it?
Why not?
Bloody magic, bloody magic.
There were no prizes for guessing what the lead story would be in tonight's Sunderland Echo. The newspaper's editor believes the cup run will lift the whole city.
Oh, the whole place will be buzzing between now and Cup Final Day on May the 9th. Tremendous morale booster for the whole city. And of course this is a completion of a brilliant hat-trick for Sunderland, isn't it? City status, University of Sunderland, and now a place at Wembley.
Will you be starting a campaign to get Malcolm Crosby the job permanently?
Well, that's a matter for Bob Murray, isn't it? Malcolm has done a tremendous job. It's going to be difficult to refuse him the job, certainly if Sunderland manage to stay in the second division, and then of course go on to win at Wembley.
The club was criticised after chaotic scenes when semi-final tickets were sold. A spokesman said there'll now be a rethink of the distribution policy before tickets go on sale for the May the 9th final.
On to other news now.